Good afternoon, everyone. I think everyone's joined now, so we're going to get started. So, thank you very much again for those that have joined. I appreciate you taking the time, especially on a Friday, to take an hour away from your day to join us today. My name is Nick Macon from nAblement. I'm going to do a quick knowledge hour on an introduction to nAblement today. Just one thing to note is that if you've got any questions, I'll try and get through as many as I can after the hour if we've got any time. If not, feel free to email us at ask@thenavpeople.co.uk about anything at all about Dynamics NAV, and we'll definitely respond to you. The aim of today's session is just to introduce this thing called nAblement to you and to learn what's included and what it is. What I'm planning on doing, I'm planning on having a quick, hopefully 15-minute presentation just to run through some of the things, and then I'm going to jump into as much software as possible to show you this stuff in action, because that's the fun stuff really. So first off, what is this nAblement thing? So it's a part of our enhanced NAV suite at nAblement. We have a team of people who focus on product development solely, so they are constantly coming up with all of these enhancements that you'll see today. This is the culmination of all of those packed into one product. It's certified from Microsoft Dynamics, which means that it goes through a Microsoft approval process between every 2 and 3 years, so it's certified by them. One of the brilliant things about nAblement is that in 2016 and onwards, it does not touch a standard object. No object was harmed in the making of this product, is what we like to say, and it really is a standalone deployment. Whenever we deploy nAblement onto a database now, we don't touch a standard object. Saying that, it is available on any version of RTC. Again, there will be some modifications there, but not a lot. And also for those people that may be on a classic version of NAV, we do have a version of our enhancements that will work for that solution as well. So nAblement really is one big collection of our most popular enhancements, and it includes stuff like our panels and tiles, enhanced workflow, nOra or automated user, enhanced fields, nForms, document management, quick reports, enhanced views, and there are a lot more as well. Some stuff that we will cover on today, some stuff that we just won't have time, unfortunately, but I'll do as much as I can. So, getting started, the first thing that people notice about nAblement are our panels and tiles, or smart role center, we like to call it. You can see on the right hand side what an example of a standard NAV role center would be like. You have these queues, and on there you can press a queue to go on to the sales orders that are pending approval, for example. The problem being that if you wanted to customize those in standard NAV, you can't edit what they are without being a developer. So if you were an end user and you wanted to edit another journal or put another button on this part on your role center, you'd have no control to do so, or even as a system admin. You'd have to speak to a reseller, and a developer would have to do that. And again, that would all be modification to your system, and more importantly, in some cases, it's a chargeable piece of work as well. As part of our nAblement module in nHanced NAV, we've got our Smart Role Center, which gives you the ability to do all of this stuff yourself. You've got the ability to choose and assign panels to your role center. You can have 10 panels visible at once. It's very, very quick to add or remove these tiles. We'll show you an example of that later on. What's really nice is that you can create these panels and then assign them to your users. So you can create a panel. Once you're happy with it, you could then assign it to other people in your department who may be not as technically savvy as yourself, for example. So what you can see on the bottom right-hand corner is an example of a panel. Those panels can contain tiles, so those are the little squares, and those tiles can do lots of stuff. The number on the right-hand side is our information, so that's the count of something. So on there we've got a count of sales orders, the amount of sales return orders we've got, the amount of sales invoices, etc. We can count any table that we've got permission to count in Dynamics NAV. That's the important thing. whatever we're counting or clicking on, it's always going to use our permission in nav before letting us open that page. We can assign images as well as pictures to tiles. We can even change the color of a tile dependent on a value. So we could say if the amount of open sales orders is more than 10, change it to green. If it's more than 50, change it to red, something like that. We can also group, if you had more than 5 or 6 tiles on a panel, we may choose to group them so you can put them into other subsections. And on the right hand side, the last thing you can see are links. So links are just quick links to open a page or run any object that we have permission to run in nav. So we can run an XML port, open a page, run a code unit, etc. all from these links, and they are really nice. There are some other fun stuff you can do with tiles as well. You can open up another panel, you can run a quick report, a planning board, and all of this stuff we'll see as part of today's session as well. One of the biggest modules we've got in nAblement is something called nHanced workflow, and it's a really nice approvals and notification process in Dynamics NAV. So you can create an approval for a document in NAV, for example, a purchase order. It gives you the ability to approve and notify both inside and outside of Dynamics NAV, and that's one of the biggest things. With standard workflow in 2016, even though you can send approvals, there's no way of being able to respond outside of nav. There's no way of being able to respond from email. With nHanced workflow, you can respond just by clicking a link in an email and sending that email back to our nOra user that we'll talk about later. Also, you can send any file attachments that you have against the record with the workflow, so the person that's being asked to approve or reject the document has as much information as possible about the thing they're trying to decide. For example, on the right-hand side, we have a purchase order that someone's put on the system. It's been triggered and come to us, and you can see there we've got 2 links as well as the PDF document that we can view the purchase order for. On the right-hand side, there's a sneak peek of some of our nHanced workflow setup. 2 of the really nice things about it is that you can put people into groups. So you can have 2 groups and a group. So that means if you have groups, it'll be sent to group 1 and then to group 2. If you wanted to, you can make that more complex by putting workflow amounts in place. So that would mean, in that example, only send it to Nick when a document is from 0 to 1000, but if it's of 1001p, it's going to go to Andre. After that group, it's going to go to Matthew and then Ian. So that's the example there. But again, you can do lots of complex setup with nHanced workflow groups. Also with nHanced workflow, we've got the ability to chain these workflows together. So we can daisy chain them together. So once one is completed, the next one will be triggered after it. For example, the next one